After making a bunch of videos on the one meal a day diet and how effective it can be to help with weight loss and with burning body fat in a simple, non-restrictive way, I've noticed that most people still have tons of questions about what to eat and in general, how to set up the diet properly. So I wanted to make this video specifically for beginners that are brand new to this diet plan in an effort to explain everything from A to Z, including what to expect, what to eat, and how much of it to eat so you can get started with a one meal a day dieting structure as early as today. And if you've never tried to eat one meal a day, you might think that it's impossible, unhealthy, or too difficult for you to do. But if you give this style of eating a chance, I promise you, you'll find that all those thoughts are simply untrue. To set up an OMAD or a one meal a day diet plan, you want to start by picking 1 hour of the day that you would like to eat your meal. When it comes to losing weight or burning body fat, it doesn't really matter whether that meal is consumed in the morning or at night. But we do want to try to start and finish eating within 1 hour. The other 23 hours of the day are going to be for fasting. Now, if you're a beginner, just the thought of that probably got your stomach turning and growling. And there's no denying that when you first start, you are going to feel hungry, but most people think that they'll feel a lot hungrier than they do when they gather the courage to actually try the diet plan. A lot of the hunger that you currently feel throughout the day is actually a conditioned hunger response. Nobel Prize winner Ivan Pavlov accidentally discovered this when studying salivation in dogs, ultimately leading to something known in psychology as Pavlovian Conditioning. Without getting too in-depth into his study, the bottom line of his experiments was that hunger is a highly suggestible state that can not only be caused by the taste, smell, and sight of food, but hunger can also be trained as a conditioned response. Meaning, if you're used to eating breakfast every day at 7 a.m., lunch at 12 p.m., and dinner at 6 p.m., you've conditioned yourself to get hungry every day at those times. The stimulus that causes you to get hungry isn't the smell, taste, or sight of food, it's the time itself. And this applies further. By pairing things like eating snacks while watching TV, or while studying, or whenever you feel boredom, you develop even more conditioned hunger responses. So the ironic truth is that by practicing fasting, you could break a lot of these conditioned hunger responses and start feeling only the unconditional hunger response when you're actually feeling hungry, allowing you to develop a better relationship to food in general. To help you break your conditioned hunger responses throughout the day, you can slowly ease into a one meal a day diet by cutting out snacks and meals slowly, one at a time. You can also incorporate things like black coffee, apple cider vinegar, and sugar-free tea throughout the day to help suppress your appetite. Remember, it'll take some time, but your body will for sure adapt. Let's move on to what to eat and how much of it to eat. When you actually get to your one meal a day for the day, you don't want to restrict your calories. A lot of people try this diet plan to lose weight or burn fat, and they think that they can lose weight faster by cutting calories from the only meal they eat for the whole day. This is a big mistake that leads to binge eating almost every time. Another big mistake is trying to do something like a one meal a day ketogenic diet plan as a beginner. You should allow yourself to eat all three macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. Again, do not restrict calories or macronutrients during this one meal, especially when first starting, as it will likely lead you to failing the diet. Instead, you want to eat your fill of single ingredient real foods. I think we all know what single ingredient real foods are, but just to give you some examples, fruits, vegetables, rice, potatoes, oats, barley, buckwheat, natural cooking oils, eggs, chicken, turkey, fish, you get the idea. Foods that contain only one real natural ingredient. You can also have foods that are a combination of a bunch of single ingredient foods. So an example of that would be something like Ezekiel bread, which is made up of a bunch of real natural sprouted grains. Once you decide what to eat, grab a large dinner plate as well as a large bowl. Start by adding your protein source to your plate. Normally, when you're trying to burn fat, I recommend you have about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight to preserve muscle mass. And I know this is a major area of confusion for people when it comes to the one meal a day diet. So, you will most likely not be able to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight when eating one meal a day. I mean, for me, that would be 200 grams of protein in just one meal. That's just not gonna happen. Luckily, fasting itself is great at preventing muscle loss because of the hormonal changes that will occur in your body while you're actually fasting. By combining fasting with a heavy weight training program, you can prevent most muscle loss without having to eat a ton of protein in one sitting. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to take that dinner plate and fill about 40% of it with your protein source. The rest of the plate can be filled with fats and carbs in whatever ratios that you choose. And when I say fill up your plate, I mean fill it up. It's very unlikely that you'll exceed your total daily calories with just one really full plate of wholesome single ingredient foods. Those single ingredient foods are going to fill you up without you having to worry about calories too much. In fact, if anything, you should be worried about getting enough calories and eating enough rather than eating too much. Just to help illustrate what to put in your plate, let me give you guys a couple examples. You might fill your plate with a large piece of salmon, and the rest of your plate might be baked potatoes that were baked in some cooking oil. The salmon will give you your protein and your fats, while the potatoes will give you your carbs and the extra fats from the cooking oil. Another example would be chicken thighs or a large piece of chicken breast with 30% of the plate filled with rice and the other 30% with avocados. You can also have multiple protein sources. So you might fill 20% of your plate with steak and the other 20% with scallops, and then the rest with brown rice pasta cooked in olive oil topped with tomato sauce. There's really an infinite amount of ways that you could fill your plate as long as you're sticking to real food, not processed food. Now for the big bowl, you're going to want to use that to fill it up with at least 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. Again, don't try to restrict calories. I don't want you sitting there chewing on a raw broccoli stalk to try to lose weight faster because it won't work. These vegetables can be cooked in oil, they can be seasoned, and they can be made very tasty. Since you're only eating one meal a day, you want to make sure that you still take in plenty of nutrients. So I usually recommend that you start by eating your big bowl of vegetables first. This will also take the edge off of your hunger. Then you can move on to your plate of protein, carbs, and fats, making sure to prioritize eating all the protein off your plate. After eating everything in your bowl and off your plate, you're most likely going to feel extremely full. However, if you're not full, then eat more single ingredient foods. You could also at this point eat more healthy snacks like fruits, seeds, and nuts. But trust me, you're probably going to be full. I know this diet sounds absurd because we're not tracking calories, we're not concerned with having 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, there aren't that many rules, we're not eating all day long, and when we are eating, we're eating until we're totally full. But I guarantee you it works. Now there are a few more things that I want to mention for you to be able to successfully eat like this. First off, the 1 meal a day diet is a flexible dieting approach. The main goal is to break the conditioned hunger response and to teach you to only react to your unconditional hunger response. If you find yourself really low in energy during your workouts, then add a second meal during one of the days to take in extra calories. Flexibility implies that you don't have to eat 1 meal a day every day. As unbelievable as it sounds, there are going to be days where it's time for you to eat your 1 meal and you're not all that hungry and you wind up leaving food in your plate. Well, the next day, if you feel low in energy and you're starving, then allow yourself an extra meal for that day. You can add an extra meal a couple days a week and still end up with a large net caloric deficit. This slowly teaches you to respond to natural hunger signals rather than eating based on a clock or a calculator. Again, if you find yourself extremely hungry once you've already adapted to the diet, then occasionally add in an extra meal. The amount of weight you lose isn't based on calories consumed per day, but instead, it's based on calories consumed over time. So small refeeds will be necessary, especially if you're following the single ingredient food approach, because that approach fills your stomach up without costing too many extra calories. One last thing that I do want to mention, and that's on the topic of junk food. If you're trying to simply maintain your weight rather than lose weight, you can definitely get away with eating more junk food during your 1 meal. However, I still recommend eating those junk foods and snacks after already consuming your single ingredient foods. That'll prevent you from overeating and will ensure that you're taking in plenty of nutrients. That's it, guys. I know this diet plan may sound super simple in theory, but that's exactly the way that it's meant to be. If you want to feel more calculated with your diet plan, you can track your calories in the beginning to ensure that you're not taking in too little or too much. I really hope this video has helped you guys out. If it has, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon to enjoy more free videos just like this one. Also, if you're looking to lose weight or burn body fat fast and you want a streamlined, done-for-you solution without you having to do the research yourself and without tons of trial and error, try my 6-week challenge where my clients are losing an average of 20 pounds or 5% body fat in just 42 days. We customize a ton of different diet plans, including fasting, keto, vegetarian, and even more traditional 5 to 6 meal a day diet plans because everyone is different and everyone finds more success with different diet plans. You also get a 42-day workout plan, a recipe book, and an accountability coach to help guide you through the entire process. And the best part is that we offer you the chance to get it for free to incentivize you to actually follow through without cheating and without quitting for all 6 weeks, so you can experience the results that so many of our clients have already experienced. To find out more, you can click the link somewhere around here, or you can just visit my website directly at www.gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.
Pump it.